Okay, so I'll move on to the next video.
Hello friends. In this tutorial we will discuss how to insert node at the end of linked list in Java. Let's insert node at the end of a linked list shown in slide. Below is the algorithm for this. Let's see working of it through a demo. Step 1 creates a new node having data as 15, and next node points to null. Moving further. In order to insert new node at the end, that is just after last node, we need to traverse list till last node. For that we create a temporary list node variable, by name current, and point it to head. Third step is to execute few steps in a while loop. The while loop executes till current node's next is equal to null. It simply means, when current node's next becomes null, current node points to last node. In while loop, first, a check is made whether current's next is null or not. Currently, current node points to head, whose next points to second node, which is not null. Thus, statement in a while loop executes. Here currently, current node points to head, and current's next points to second node. Thus, while loop statement assigns current's next node to current. That is, it traverses current node to second node. Now again it checks for while loop condition. Current node points to second node, whose next points to third node, which is not null. Therefore it again executes statement in a while loop as demonstrated. Current now traverses to third node. Now again it checks for while loop condition. Current node points to third node, whose next points to null. Thus, current's next is equal to null. Therefore while loop condition fails, and loop terminates. This signifies that, current has reached at the last node of linked list. Final step would be, to just update the next pointer of current node, that is last node, to point to the new node.
See what it is done. Okay, they are started traversing one after the node or the other. Okay, now what is this loop is all about? The purpose of this loop is that we have to see that whether there is any such node present in the linked list which is pointing towards the null, that is equal to null. Okay, so right now this is the first node. As you can see, by this first node is actually pointing towards the next node which has a value. It does not have any null. Okay, then from the second node to the third node, it is again pointing towards this particular node which also have a value. So the nodes does exist. From 11 again it is heading towards the 15. Now from this particular node, sorry, let me just take it back a little bit. Okay, now 11 is actually heading towards nowhere. That means after this particular that is current dot next is equal to null presently. Try to understand. Okay, current dot next, that is this part, is equal to null. That means there is no other node present. That means where this is a position my loop will terminate. I will stop the loop. Why I have to stop the loop? Because right now okay, so right now what is happening now, since this particular node is not pointing towards the any other node, right now current dot next is equal to null. Now current dot next is equal to null very much means that my this particular condition, that is while loop, does not satisfy. Why it does not satisfy? Because it says that I have to run the loop until and unless I don't get any node which is heading towards the null. Now, this is the node which is heading towards the null. So that is why my condition fails. Why condition fails? Because this is a point where the value will not be null. I repeat, the value will not be null. Why? Because current dot next is equal to new node. This is the new node. Okay, and the new node will have the null value. That is, so that is what it is performed here. That is current dot next. That is, this is the very last node where the compiler has traversed. So current dot next, that is this particular node, becomes equal to the new node. And when it becomes the new node, okay, then if I take it little bit forward, this, that is current dot next is equal to new node, means this particular node has got attached with this particular node at the last. Okay, so this is what the process, that is, you keep on traversing until you get a particular node which is heading towards the null. Once you get this particular node which was heading towards the null, you do what? You use the pointer, that is next pointer of this particular node towards the new node. And what, how will you represent? Current dot next is equal to new node, because the new node is right now heading towards the null. So, and why it is null? This null represent that this particular node is the last node of the entire linked list. So you don't have any other node after this. So this is how you insert the linked list at the end. Okay.
Let's move to Eclipse and see it's working through code. Usually, interview question would be, given list node head, and integer data, insert data as a node at the end of linked list. In singly linked list class, we create a method by name, insert at end. This method takes in head node and integer data. This method returns back head node, after inserting node at the end of linked list. Let's code in method what we demonstrated in the slide. First, let's create a new list node, with the integer data provided as argument in the method. It simply calls parameterized constructor of list node class.
Please mind you, why it is mentioned only the data part? It's only because this is the particular node which is created and it will be attached as the last. It does not have any address value. Okay, but in if you talk about the beginning part, okay, then in the beginning you can see you have what? You have the data part. So basically, once you create the node, the creation of the node is only focusing on the value. Try to understand this. Once you create the node, the creation of the node is only a purpose of storing the value. The position at which it will be inserted is completely a different process.
Thus, creating an instance of list node, with data passed to constructor, and next pointing to null. Moving further, we make a check that, if head is null, that is if list is empty, then simply return newly created node, as there are no elements in list, and new node is the head itself. Moving ahead. In order to insert new node at the end, that is just after last node, we need to traverse list till last node. For that we create a temporary list node variable, by name current, and point it to head. Next, we create a while loop with a condition that it should execute till current's next node becomes null. It simply means, when current node's next becomes null, current node points to last node. And we require pointer to last node to insert node just after that. Moving further, in while loop, we assign current node to current's next. That is, we traverse current node to its next. Next step will be to update current's next reference to point to the new node. Thus, we inserted node at the end of linked list. Just return head node. This head node will hold linked list with inserted data at end. Let's test its working. In our previous tutorial, we created a linked list with 4 nodes. Let's use it. Instead of insert at beginning, we call insert at end method by passing head node and data as 15 to it. That's it. Let's run this Java program. You can see, on first line it prints 10, 8, 1, 11 as nodes of linked list. On second line it prints the same list having 15 inserted at end, that is just after 11. Thus, in this tutorial, we saw insertion of node at the end of linked list. So friends,
just look at this particular part, that is list node insert at the end. That is this particular function part, the method part. What they have done, they have created a list, and inside they have created a node. Inside the node, a data has been stored. Okay. Now, first thing, before inserting, it is necessary that you have to find out whether a linked list actually exists or not. Because if it doesn't exist, then where will you insert it? You cannot insert at any position. So that is why it is what it is happening. As you can see, that a new node has been created and it is checked whether the head node is equal to null. Means head node equal to null only represent that your linked list is actually empty. It does not have any node, it does not have any value. So if it is null, then what you are doing, the node which you have created becomes the first node of the linked list. That is why a return new node. Okay. But suppose if we consider that our linked list, there is a single linked list which has already been created, then how will you proceed? That means you consider that the first node which is already first node of the linked list which has already been created is the current node, and then you keep on shifting and moving just to find out that particular node which is heading towards the null. That is why it is written null not equal to current dot linked list. Okay, because if null is equal to current dot linked list, that means you are already in the null position. You are already in the null position. We did not have to go to the null position. We have to go to the second last position. Second last position where there is one node exists. After that, there is no node. So that is why it is written that null not equal to current dot next. Okay. So we are heading in this manner, but there will be a position, that is at a position you will see that your current node is heading towards nowhere, that is heading towards the null. So that means that is a position where current dot next, the present current dot next will link towards the new node which you have created here containing some data. Okay, so current dot next equal to new node means your second last node is now is not heading towards the null. It is getting connected with the last node which you have created containing some data into it. Now with the help of that, you have been connected, and then you are returning the head. Head means right from the very first node till the last node, you're printing the ultimate new linked list with a node attaching at the end of the linked list. So this is basically how you insert the node at the end of the linked list. If you have any problem, ask, otherwise we will move towards the deletion. Any question, Rishu, Yash, Sneha? Any question, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay. Then we'll move towards the deletion part. Okay.
In this,
Now, always remember, deletion is only possible once you have the linked list. Without linked list, you cannot perform deletion. Okay. So this is always keep this fact in mind. Okay. And not necessary that the arrangements of the data in each of the nodes will be in any order, any sequential order. It can be in any random order. Okay.
this particular session, we are going to discuss the deletion operation on a linked list. While performing the deletion operation, one search item will be given to us, and the node which is having the info equal to the search info or the search item will be deleted. The thing is that the node which is going to be deleted will be deleted, and the corresponding memory space, the memory space against that particular node will be free. So that is not an issue. Issue is that just the previous node of that particular search node, that particular link field address is to be updated. So that's why here, while traversing, I should keep 2 pointers. One is the PTR and another one will be the prev PTR, that is the previous PTR. So we'll be keeping 2 variables. One is the prev PTR, another one is the PTR.
Mind you, the here only the variables will be different in this part of this tutorial, because this is of a different link. So just watch it. After that, I will explain in details.
Okay, now here is the algorithm. Algorithm linked list delete search. It is taking 2 input arguments. One is the start, which is nothing but the starting address of the linked list, and the search info, which has to be searched. So if start is equal to null, then print overflow and return.
This is simply the statement which you have seen, that if your condition is head is equal to null, that means you don't have any head node in the linked list. That means there is no linked list exist only, so you cannot perform the operation. So that is how you can interlink it very easily. Okay, just go through the algorithm. This is a pure algorithm. Okay, it does not have any programming syntax or programming context to it. It's simply algorithm. Just see.
So that means if the start is equal to null, that means the linked list does not exist. So if the linked list does not exist, then how can we perform the division operation? So then print underflow and return. Do you know what is underflow? The deletion operation is there, but there is no data to delete. So in that case, it will be known as the underflow. Return means the rest part of the program will remain unreachable. So now, if the start item is having the info matching with this start info, then what will happen? So that will be a special case. So if start implies info is equal to search info, then delete node or del node is equal to start, because the start node is going to get deleted, and the new start will be the next node. That means the second node will be the start node. So start is equal to start implies next, because start implies next is the address of the second node of the linked list, and that will be the start node. And free node, del node. So whatever the address we are having against the variable del node, and the memory space which is being occupied starting from the del node address will be declared as a free node. That means the memory space which was there occupied will be now declared as a free. So that is known as a free node. Else, so I'm coming to this part. That means as a first node, I didn't find the search info. PTR is equal to start next. So PTR is pointing to the second node, and previous PTR is equal to start. So start will be pointed by the previous PTR, and the next node, second node, will be pointed by the PTR. So now what will happen? You know, if the search item is matching with this first node, then that case we handled here. So now we are handling the second one. That means I'm going to search my presence of this search info from the second node onwards. So now while PTR is not equal to null and PTR implies info is not equal to search info, so until the PTR is not getting null, that means until we are searching throughout the full linked list, and the search PTR implies info is not equal to search info, then prep PTR is equal to PTR. So prep PTR will have the advancement, so it will be coming to the PTR place, and PTR will go to the next memory, next node address. So that is PTR is equal to PTR implies next. So in this way, it will execute. We know that prep PTR cannot be null, only PTR can be null, because PTR is in advance compared to prep PTR. So if PTR is equal to null, so for what it has exited from this while block. So if PTR is equal to null means unsuccessful searching, no deletion can take place. Otherwise, prep implies next is equal to PTR implies next. So the PTR's next node address will be kept in the prep next field, and the corresponding PTR, the corresponding memory space, the RAM space, which was occupied against this particular variable ptr will be declared as a free space. So who will be doing that one? That will be done by the then node. So I think here,
Let me explain you in my language. It was an outstanding language, I know. Anyways, see, while deleting the node, there are three case studies that you have to understand. Number one, if my entire linked list is empty, that means linked list does not even exist. That is the first case of the deletion. Second case is that if I have the only single node in the linked list, and that is also satisfying the condition that it has to be deleted. Listen to me very carefully. I have only single linked list, only one node inside the linked list, and that linked list need to be deleted. So that is the second occasion. And the third occasion is that I have a full-fledged linked list with multiple nodes. Okay, my first element does not satisfy, then I will keep on moving toward the other list. So the first condition said a start is equal to null. If you refer to the previous tutorials which I have shown you, that means basically head is equal to null. That means my linked list does not even exist. Okay, since my linked list does not even exist, it represents that I cannot perform any deletion operation within the linked list. So if I cannot perform any deletion, that means it is a situation called underflow. Now, since it has been mentioned in this tutorial of the underflow, so let me just discuss about the two terms. That is, one is underflow and one is overflow. Okay, now overflow condition does not exist in the linked list. Try to understand. Overflow situation does not exist in the linked list. Why it does not exist in the linked list? Because the concept of the linked list is based upon dynamic memory allocation, not with respect to the fixed size, just like an array. In array, you can have a overflow situation. That is, in array, if you have a fixed size of 10, then you cannot insert any 11th element in the array. But since in the linked list, there is no concept of the size, it is of the dynamic memory allocation concept. So that is why the overflow concept in the linked list does not even exist. Okay, the only possibility which can exist is the underflow. And what is underflow? Underflow means that there is no linked list that exists where you can perform any deletion operation. Okay, so that is the first case which has been indicated, that the start is equal to null, then print underflow and return. That means my linked list does not exist. I cannot perform any operation. I cannot perform any deletion at any position. So I have to keep my other part of the program unexecuted because I don't have linked list, so I cannot perform any deletion. So no execution will occur and my program or my algorithm will stop then and there. Moving on to the second condition. Now, right now I have a single linked list. Okay, the second situation says that I have a linked list, but what is the situation? The situation says that what if in the entire linked list, my very first element is the element which I want to delete from the linked list. Okay, as you can see from the diagram in the back. Okay, and if you have copied the diagram of the previous tutorial, okay, the first element was a 10. Now if I have to remove 10 from the linked list, now the 10 was existing on the very first node of the entire singly linked list. Now if I have to do that, what? Let me just take it little bit back. Suppose out here this is the linked list. Okay, and it is found that particular element, that is search info, is that particular value which we are going to search and we are going to delete from the linked list. Now if the search info is 10 and on the very first node there is a 10, that means what? This node has to be deleted at the very first, from the very first position. Now once you delete this node, what happened? The first node, if you see the diagram carefully, there is a second node which is carrying a value called 144. That means what? If this is the head node, after the deletion, the head node will shift towards this second node. That is 144 becomes the head node of the linked list. So that is what it is said, that the deleted node, delete node is equal to start. It is identifying that the node to be deleted is equal to the very start. Okay. Now what will become the start value? That is the head value of the modified linked list. Start is equal to start dot next. That means my this particular value, or sorry, this particular node becomes, that is 144, as you can see in the diagram, 144 becomes the head node of the new modified linked list. I repeat, 144 becomes the new modified head node of the linked list. Okay, so this position vanishes. I repeated, this connection vanishes. Okay, and also what happened once you delete the node, the value also need to be deleted, and this entire node need to be freed up so that no memory remain occupied. So this free node concept has been introduced in the algorithm, that once you delete the node, you can free the node with no value, so the node is empty and the node can go back into the memory heap. So right now, if you perform this, what is the ultimate outcome that you will understand? That is, the very first node is that particular node which we want to delete. That means the information present inside the node is satisfied. That is why we are deleting the very first node. So the second node, with respect to the original linked list becomes the head node of the modified linked list. That is 144. The 144 is present in that particular node. This new node becomes the modified head node of the modified linked list. Okay, that is the concept it is said. Now let me just take it this part. Okay, now it is visible. So right now what happened, if my both of this condition fails, what is the first situation? That is, my linked list is empty, I don't have any value to delete. That is underflow situation. This condition let us consider to be wrong. And also I considered the second situation also to be wrong. That is the very first node, that the information that I want to delete from the node is present in the very first position of the linked list. So I cancel out this position. That means what? Now if I, after the first node onwards, if I have to perform the deletion operation of any other node in the linked list, then it is necessary that from the very first node I need to traverse every node. I have to read the data, and after that I can perform the deletion operation. Okay, so what it is done, that is the else condition. It is said that if my first node does not have the value which is equal to the search condition, not even my linked list is empty. So it is said that previous PTR is equal to PTR and PTR is equal to PTR dot next. Now they have used the two counter variable. One is previous PTR and one is PTR. That means if this is previous PTR, try to understand, if this is previous PTR, this becomes the PTR. Now if this becomes the previous PTR, then this becomes the PTR. Okay, so keeping the track of the previous node as well as the new node. Okay, so let us consider out here, no example as taken. So now if we consider that we have the search info contain a value called 144. Now 144 is present in the second node. Okay, so I have to delete this node. So how will I delete this node? That means, okay, right now this is, now if I have to visit 144, that means this is my current node, which represents, that is, this becomes the present PTR and 10 becomes previous PTR. That means previous PTR dot next should point this particular variable, this particular value, that is 73. Okay, so that means what is happening, this is what they are performing is that The previous PTR is equal to PTR and PTR is equal to PTR dot next. Okay, that means the previous PTR need to connect using the next function with this particular node. Now, once you connect this node, that means the link between these two already get dispatched. And once it get dispatched, what happened? The node is out of this 144 is out of the linked list. Once 144 is out of the linked list, you call which function? Free node or del node function has been called, that is 144 is deleted and this particular node is empty. So basically very simple, that you have to understand that whatever you have the previous PTR, it need to be connected to the another node, that is this particular node, okay, using the pointer address, and you need to break it off. Once you break it, this node automatically becomes out of the list. So that is what is performed. I can show you the dry run as it is being performed here. If you can listen to the dry run, okay. Let's see at the dry run.
Search info is equal to 73.
So they want to delete 73.
73 as a start nodes info, not matching. So now PTR will be pointing to this. So that is my PTR. And that is my pref PTR. Now PTR is not equal to null, and PTR implies info is not matching with this. Then what will happen? Pref PTR is equal to PTR and PTR is equal to PTR.
Share volume.
PTR will be this one.
Volume is given.
PTR.
So this becomes the pref PTR and this becomes the PTR.
So PTR will be coming down here and PTR will have the advancement. So now in here, PTR implies info is equal to search info. So now it is matching. So that means it will exit from this while block. So now PTR is equal to null. No, PTR is not equal to null. And then pref implies next is equal to PTR implies next. So you see pref PTR implies next, that is pref PTR implies next means this particular field will be updated with the PTR's next. PTR implies next. So it is pointing to this one. So this link will be cancelled out. So it will be pointing to this. It will be pointing to this. And now what will happen? This particular memory block against this particular node will be released using the function free node. So in this way, my algorithm is working. I think you are getting the grip.
Okay, so see what they have done is that the pref PTR is keeping the track of the previous node and the PTR is the track of that particular node which is they are deleting. So when you are deleting the 73 as per this diagram, okay, what is happening? This particular node has the memory address of this node. So this memory address will be copied into this particular node. So that is why it is said that pref PTR is equal to the pref PTR next is equal to PTR dot next. Okay, why PTR dot next? Because PTR dot next is pointing towards this. So this memory is getting copied into this. So this link gets break and this memory is getting emptied. Okay, so this is how you actually perform the deletion operation. Okay, so this is what all we have seen throughout the application of all the linked list operation, that is insertion, the types of the insertions, and also the deletion also. Okay, so this is basically entirely the part of your syllabus. There is nothing else from the linked list part. But yes, what you have to do is that you have to understand this algorithm and you have to practice this algorithm. Also, what you have to also keep in mind is that you have to practice some application related to the linked list, as I have discussed. Summation of the odd values present in the node, summation or maybe product of the even values present in the node, or to traverse only the odd numbers present in the node, to traverse only the even number present in the node, or maybe you have to find out whether any node has a repetitive value. Suppose in the single linked list you are searching any value, say number 5. So how many number of 5 has been repeated in multiple nodes? So all these small basic like searching, sorting kind of operation that you have to. Sorting cannot be performed, I repeat. Linked list is a distracted data structure, so sorting cannot be performed, but searching different ways of searching, how to be searched, all these operations can be performed. So you need to practice that. I'll make a list of assignments so that you all can go through it. With this, we conclude the linked list chapter, and followed by the tree topic also. Then we will head towards the new topic. Again, we will go back to a little bit of programming of your main part, a majority of our last section, that is stack is there, queue is there. So we'll start discussing from the next class. Thank you very much.